So, Ristical, I want to make something perfectly clear. When I send you video responses, it's because I want to look you in the eye. I want you to see my face to let you know what I think. Whether you like my smirk or whether you don't. You always know two things about me. I don't misinterpret your words. I come off to you. I don't like you. Don't specify I do. But I don't come off and call you dumbass at the start. I don't know what your real name is, so I call you by your stage name. If you want to send me your real name, I'll be happy to talk to you man to man. My name is Johnny. And I'm going to answer your questions the way you put to me in the letter. You asked me if people are entitled to free Social Security. Well, as far as I know, Social Security does not exist. The so-called trust fund died. And as far as the Browns, they were not accused of paying Social Security. They were for allegedly violating the income tax laws. But you asked me how I come up with the conclusions. You see this book right here? That is the Internal Revenue Service Code. I've read that book from top to bottom. And to tell you the truth, it's bullshit. The Browns, like you were saying, challenged. Show me the law. Well, I got the law right here and I've researched it. There was over 9,700 pages in this book alone. You can see how thick it is. And these are all my marks. It's an older book, but I've checked through the updated copies. It has nothing to do with Social Security. Social Security is a separate entity. And that's not what the Browns were allegedly guilty of. When you made that statement that the more taxes you pay, the more you get back, I'm sorry, I will have to disagree with you. Because I've seen immigrants come in from this country, be 60 years old, go for their green card, go for their full citizenship by the time they reach 65, and get more benefits than somebody who's worked from the time they were 14 till they were 65. So don't tell me the more taxes you pay, the more you're going to get back from the government. That's full of it. And I'm being clean with my language. The truth of the matter is, the more you give the government, the more they put into wasteful endeavors like bridges to nowhere, wars we can't win, and all these little social experiments that always goes bad. You probably can name a few of your own. Even to the point where the so-called defense of this country, which doesn't happen. Yeah, we got all these, all we're doing with our troops and stuff is sending them overseas. That was the 25%, I think you said, volunteered to go to Iraq. Well, if they want to go, that's their business. But I don't really care. You spouted off about Ed and Elaine Brown being criminals, pay your taxes, all this stuff. What taxes? Which ones? Do you know there is so many taxes on the books, I can't even keep up with them. I don't even think there's not enough numbers in this computer to crunch. It can keep up with all the taxes. The only thing about it is, was the tax they were supposedly found guilty of legitimate? No. The victory tax was appealed in 1946. In fact, I think it was May 13th. I may be wrong on my days, but I know it was in May. Congress eliminated the victory tax and replaced it with nothing. So people have been paying a false tax for going on 46 years. There is no requirement to pay income taxes. The 16th Amendment was never given to Congress, never gave the IRS that kind of power. They just took it under coloring. And to me, the judges in this country are as fraudulent as our politicians. They don't believe in justice. They just believe in keeping their political constituents happy. And as far as my arrogant smirk about what I do, well, I'm going to be straight with you, man. This is not an arrogant smirk. It's how I'm like all the time. Am I worried about what people say or think about me? Not really. But I do make one pledge and promise. You might not like what I say. You might hate my guts. Doesn't matter. You want a straight answer? I'll give it to you. I'll look you dead in the eyes and I will tell you the truth. Whether you like me or you don't like me. It's for you. Now, as far as everything else, I don't live in, and I'm also going to dispel myths for the last time. I do not live in my mother's basement. This is my home. This is my living room. This is my house. I own it. I work for it. And unlike what you accuse the Browns of, I'm no thief and neither were they. They were two hard-working Americans. Not greedy motherfuckers. They worked their ass off. She worked as a dentist. He worked as an exterminator. They both built a life. And oh yeah, you saying you owe him 1.9 million. Well, let me tell you something. They could have went to any enrolled agent who could have negotiated a deal with the IRS. They never had to serve a day in jail. The only thing they would have been, they could have waited till amnesty day, confessed to everything. The IRS would have set them up a payment plan, and they could have spent the rest of their days in Florida or wherever they want to stay without so much as a criminal record. And upon their death, all their families would have had to do was out of the trust, pay whatever they owed the IRS, and that would have been it. But they chose to fight. They are the true heroes. Because in this country, they chose to stand up and ask me, show me the law. They asked their politicians. They withheld because they wanted to see the law for themselves. The only thing they could convince them on was a coloring of the law. I did not blame Ed Brown for boycotting his own trial. Because it was a sham. It's a sham then, it's a sham now, and a sham always. I ask you, would you be willing to stand up for yourself to do the same thing? I wonder. Well, if you want to hear any more responses to any more questions, just ask me. I will respond. Peace out.